Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. We are back with Marty Robbins' Feleena, and this is the second installment in the El Paso trilogy. We checked out El Paso itself. I believe that one is from 59. I think this song was written a few years later in 66, and I think the third song and the final song is even later, somewhere in the 70s. So I really enjoy the storytelling in the first one. Amazing storytelling, great song, Western ballad. I love Westerns, I love music, I love storytelling. So when that all comes together, man, you get a magical experience. And some people told me in the first story that the person who got killed, it wasn't for the murder he committed, but for stealing the horse, which was actually considered a worse crime because it's basically a death sentence when you steal a man's horse, in the desert or something. They can't get food or water. So I actually knew about that, but I didn't make the connection at the time. So thank you for reminding me. That's so helpful in the comments. Sometimes on these first listens, well, sometimes, a lot of the times, you don't get everything on first listen. That's just how it goes. This is a long intro. Let's jump in. Thank you for being here, people. Thank you for being here.
Out in New Mexico, many long years ago, there in a shack on the desert one night in a storm, amid streaks of lightning and loud desert thunder, to a young Mexican couple a baby was born. Just as the baby cried, thunder and lightning died, moon gave its light to the world and the stars did the same. Mother and father both proud of the daughter that heaven had sent them. Faleena was this baby's name. When she was 17, bothered by crazy dreams, she ran away from the shack and left them to roam. Father and mother both asked one another, what made her run away? What made Faleena leave home?
Name.
Tired of the desert nights, poverty, grief, and strife, she went her way late one night in the moon's golden beam. She didn't know where she'd go, but she'd get there, and she would find happiness if she would follow her dream.
Wow. Hey, man. The storytelling is amazing, but what a voice too, huh? Come on. It's, the writing is great, but then the way you deliver that writing is equally important to me. It's all the right doses of this music and this voice, and then the writing, you got this pie that's evenly distributed. I love that, man. I love the timbre in his voice. It's such a warm voice too. And you could see it happening right in front of your mind's eye. And it's, this is from Felina's perspective. We even go back to when she's born. I didn't know it was going to get that deep into the backstory. I thought we were going to just see the scenes in the cantina. But we're actually going back. This is a longer song than the first one. So we're actually going back and seeing the choices she's making to get in that bar. Like, the parents are questioning, why would you leave our home? And she's like tired of poverty and wants to venture out and do something else with her life. I love that. You take, in writing, you take characters that are almost at the opposite end of wherever they are, and then you make them converge, and then people are like, why? This could have been so easily avoided. I love that. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Let's go. Marty Robbins. Yo, this is so good.
After she ran away, she went to Santa Fe, and in the year that she stayed there, she learned about In just a little while she learned that with a smile she could have a pretty clothes, she could be any man's wife. Rich men romanced her, they dined and they danced her. She understood men and she treated them all just the same.
Dang.
A form that was fine and rare, dark, shining, glossy hair, lovely to look at. Feleena was this woman's name. Restless in Santa Fe, she had to get away to any town where the lights had a much brighter glow. One cowboy mentioned the town of El Paso. They never stopped dancing and money like whiskey did flow. She bought a one-way, a ticket from Santa Fe, 3 days and nights on a stage with a rest now and then. She didn't mind that, she knew she would find that her new life would be more exciting than where she had been.
Wow. Oh man, we're heading there. So I love that, just that entire backstory, and she's learning that she really has that seductive power over men, and now she's in Santa Fe. Now she heard about El Paso, now we're going there. So we're getting closer. Ooh, come on, man. Oh God, it's so good.
The stage made its last stop up there on the mountaintop to let her see all of the lights at the foot of the hill.
Wow.
Her world was brighter, and deep down inside her, an uncontrolled beating, her young heart just wouldn't be still. She got a hotel, a room at the Lily Bell. Quickly she changed to a form-fitting black satin dress. Every man stopped to stare at this form fine and rare. Even the women remarked to the charm she possessed. Dancing and laughter was what she was after, and Rose's cantina had lights with love in the gleam. That's what she hunted and that's what she wanted. Rose's was one place a nice girl would never be seen.
Dang.
It was the same way it was back in Santa Fe. Men would make fools of themselves at the thought of romance. Rosa took heed of the place was in need of this kind of excitement, so she paid Faleena to dance.
Oh.
A year passed or maybe more, then through the swinging doors came a young cowboy, so tall and so handsomely dressed. This one was new in town, hadn't been seen around. He was so different, he wasn't like all of the rest.
Wow.
Faleena danced close to him, then threw a rose to him. Quickly he walked to her table, and there he sat down. And in a day or so, wherever folks would go, they'd see this young cowboy showing Faleena the town.
Oh, I love that picking pattern too. I hear the strumming of an acoustic here, and then I hear this picking pattern after he stretches out those notes, you know, town with the vibrato, and then you get that nice timbre in his voice. Such a, you know, it's almost I'm seeing colors when I'm listening to it. Such a dark taupe type, darkish color, you know, really a warm hue. And then you hear this picking pattern at the end every time. I love that. And also she was actually there for a year already. And then this cowboy came in and really was different than the other. Oh man, that's great. And I really love his description, you know, in terms of prose, right? The descriptive stuff, not only visual, but also the other senses are used. He's talking about her heart beating fast as well. So a little bit of excitement or anxiety. And you can hear even music within the story, apart from the music that's actually playing. I love that, using multiple senses within the song, within the lyrics to really get a full picture of this incredible story, man. I love it. That's so good.
See this young cowboy showing Feleena the town. 6 weeks he went with her, each minute spent with her, but he was insanely jealous of glances she'd give. Inside he was a-hurtin' from all of her flirtin'. That was her nature and that was the way that she lived. She flirted one night, it started a gunfight, and after the smoke cleared away, on the floor lay a man. Felena's young lover had shot down another, and he had to leave there, so out through the back door he ran. The next day at 5 o'clock she heard a rifle shot. Quickly she ran to the door that was facing the pass. She saw her cowboy, her wild riding cowboy. Low in the saddle her cowboy was riding in fast. She ran to meet him, to kiss and to greet him. He saw her and motioned her back with a wave of his hand. Wow. Bullets were flying, Faleena was crying as she saw him fall from the saddle and into the sand. Faleena knelt near him to hold and to hear him, when she felt the warm blood that flowed from the wound in his side. He raised to kiss her and she heard him whisper, "Never forget me, Faleena, it's over, goodbye." Quickly she grabbed for the 6-gun that he wore, and screaming in anger and placing the gun to her breast. "Bury us both deep and maybe we'll find peace." Then pulling the trigger she fell across the dead cowboy's chest.
Dang.
Out in El Paso, whenever the wind blows, if you listen closely at night you'll hear in the wind. A woman is crying, it's not the wind sighing. Old timers tell you Faleena is calling for him.
Damn.
You'll hear them talking and you'll hear them walking. You'll hear them laughing, you'll look but there's no one around. Don't be alarmed, there is really no harm there. It's only the young cowboy showing Faleena the town.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Love that. Love that. Great storytelling, and great singing. Love the music. And yeah, he's doing a little bit of foreshadowing because, I've read from the comments that the next song, it might be like a ghost story type song. Not sure if that's correct, but here when he's talking in that last verse about, it's not the wind that you're hearing that is sighing, it is like this almost ghost story in that last verse already. So maybe he's going to be expanding and expounding on that in the next song. Looking forward to that. This was great. There's a couple of things that really caught my ear as well, just in terms of the technical ability in rhyming as well. Like in this, I'm looking at the lyrics here. 6 weeks he went with her, each minute spent with her. Instead of the rhyming at the end, of course, went with her and spent with her, it rhymes. But 6 weeks, the rhyme at the beginning, but also, actually all the words connect, the entire sentence rhymes. So that's really something that caught my ear, and it's pleasing to the ear, and it's a great technical ability there too. So there's a lot going on in this song, not only in terms of storytelling, but also, singing and technical penmanship, and the music. So, to really dissect it, you would need an hour long video, but it's so enjoyable. It is, so easy to listen to, and it's great to hear this backstory. Like, okay, yes, he did steal that horse and comes back, hanging out in the saddle. People are chasing him. And but what set this chain of events off was really like, oh, somebody else was flirting with her. He shot him, then he took off, and then all this started happening. But then at the end of the first song, he really just dies in her arms, right? But we don't get that follow-up. So here we get a little bit of a prequel and just a tiny bit of a sequel as well. It's like a sandwich. The first song is like almost sandwiched in between these verses somewhere, at least in the very last one and the next to last one, where she really puts the gun to her own chest and then fires around and really dies, like almost a Western Romeo and Juliet ending right there. Yeah, man. So we didn't get that in the first song, if I recall correctly. Dang. And then you go think back about the choices she made to come here, right? You never know where those will take you in life. Really great writing and convergence of storylines. I love that. I love that weaving in, things that you think like, oh, how are they going to come together? Now we know, of course, we knew that they were going to come together in the first song, but I love that weaving of storylines, and it all works, man. It's great writing. Yes, love it. Thank you for joining me once again. And I'm looking forward to the final installment in the El Paso trilogy. And then we're definitely going to check out other songs by Marty Robbins as well. So yeah, again, thank you for being here. Have a great day. Goodbye.